want to grow as a grower? Are you tired of being put to sleep by your educational growcasts? Are you tired of hearing about products you don't fucking want and can't afford? Are you tired of being told how you should grow? Hi, I'm Johnny Apple, and joining me is everyone's favorite amphibian, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Join us as we sift through the bullshit on the internet and try to get better as growers. This is Your Average Grow.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man.
What's up, bros?
Who's that?
Oh, it's me. It's Merch.
Oh my God, we finally got him.
Yeah, I crept my way onto another podcast somehow, some way. I'm not sure, but here I am.
I'll
What
tell
an
you how it was
honor.
super easy. We went, what do you want to talk about? I don't fucking know. You want to try and get a last minute guest? Yes, we do.
And the good news, like we were saying our last episode, is we have that list. And since your name was at the top of the list, it went, okay, we'll try one. One's in, we're golden.
Nice.
It was literally 30 seconds later. He's like, all right, we got Merch. I was like, no shit. Sweet.
I was cooking up some steak and some pot roast, and I'm like, oh, I gotta hurry this up, get over on here.
That's awesome. We appreciate it.
Did you get a
so
chance
much.
to eat at least?
Yeah, I had some good slices, and then the rest is cooking right now.
A good deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. We've talked so much about you in your absence. We finally had to get you on because we felt like we were talking out of turn. I know
I appreciate
that
it.
Kotz was excited about you turning him on to some quality genetics, and then I actually received a package you sent me today.
Oh, nice.
So I'm actually opening it. I'm lying. I opened it before. I was too excited. But I've
Ooh, an
got
audio unboxing.
Ooh.
yeah, I've got a one. Man, I've got so many seeds here. Holy moly.
I do try and hook it up. I try and fill them up.
I first of all, so I guess do you mind if I read through it?
Yeah, it's fine. I apologize. The packaging isn't like super flashy. I ran out of those like bright pink Mylar. You know.
Oh no, this is right up my alley. So we have Star Fox S1.
Yeah, that's a good
Which
one.
is, yeah, I was doing a little bit of research before anywho, we'll get Double Fox, and that's the F1.
Yep, I like that one.
This one we talked about earlier, but Skywalker and Form Stomper by Star Fox.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Cam number 2, which I'm not sure what Cam is number 2, but by Star Fox.
It's a cabin auto mix. It's just like, it's kind of like a mutt of different genetics. It was like one of the first ones that I put together when I was living in a little shack in the woods, and it's not bad. I like it.
Awesome. I'm very excited. And then Sour Grapes by Coal Miner's Daughter.
That's actually from Rob's Reviews over
Ooh.
on YouTube. And I did tell him a while ago I wasn't going to send those seeds out, but I just have so many, and I don't think he's going to mind, you know.
Well, we can edit this part out if you don't want him to.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's I think he did Diesel crossed with Double Grape, so that's what that is.
Wow, that's awesome. And then Anvil number 4 by Coal Miner's Daughter, and then Anvil number 5 by Coal Miner's Daughter.
Yeah, there's 2 different phenos in there, and I just wanted to make sure you had, you know, the best of both of them, because I don't really know which one's going to be the keeper in there.
I'm very excited to grow them all, and I'm especially excited that I got this package and I get to talk to you. But I'm very excited that's going to move some very important stuff that was on the list down a couple paces, because I can't wait to get into it.
I mean, no rush, bro. I don't want to throw your game off.
Oh, it's okay. My game will change before then anyway.
So I also got a care package today too. Do you care if I share the seeds that I got?
Go for it, dude.
Dude, you're gonna love the list of these. So my buddy Nat, he hit me up over on the Discord, and he sent me Cherry Fog crossed with Ice Gushers. That's an feminized autos. There's a big. These are all like full vials, like kind of like the ones I sent you. And then we got Red Gorilla Girl crossed with Purple Pope, and that's a Sweet Seeds Night Owl. And we got what is it? Chem Dela Chem or Creme de la Creme from Mephisto, crossed with Purple Pope F2, and then a Purple Pope Night Owl S1.
Oh, nice.
And then Do-Si-Do crossed with Purple Pope. I think he used Purple Pope as the stud, like a feminized back cross, or a S1. And then Bilbo Bagseed, which is a mixed. That's right up my alley. I love that. And then the Bruce Banner crossed with Purple Pope, and these are all feminized. So I got a whole bunch of new stuff to play with. They're all feminized autos, so I'm pretty pumped on that.
That's amazing. I know that a buddy of ours, Howling Buds, is absolutely obsessed with Do-Si-Do, so you might be getting stalked by him later.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll mess with that then. I'm going to probably be breeding with all of them at some point. I just love throwing stuff together, dude.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get into it. So how did you get started, and what do you like to do in with your time, man?
Well, so when I was on the Crafting Cannabis podcast, the reason I'm so happy that we got the audio good today is because they kept it pretty under wraps, but my audio when I was on their podcast, like if I was talking, I had to mute and I couldn't listen.
Oh no.
And so the same, like it always sounded like I was interrupting. They edited it really well, but it just didn't flow as well as I wanted to. But I went over a little bit on that podcast of why I like started breeding and why I like it so much. But just to recap, I just really love growing weed and seeing like the different phenotypes and the smells and all the different varieties. And like when I first started doing that first batch, I really just started getting a feel for it. I'm by no means like a professional. I actually don't sell anything, but I just got hooked, man. I just got absolutely hooked. And like every single batch of weed was different and they all grew different and they looked different. And I was like, this is just one type. So I was like, there's a lot more types out there. So I just got really into it. I love it.
What got you started growing in the first place? What got you like from the very beginning? How long have you been into this? Like what's your relationship with cannabis in general?
And I started smoking when I was in high school with my friends. And I grew some bag seed like back in the day, like out in the woods. Never harvested any of it. It always got stolen, or like my dad found it, or like somebody found it, and like, or we thought the cops were coming and we just left it there. So I never harvested like anything, but I started it. And when I was in the military, I was in the Navy for a little while.
Oh,
and
thank
then
you for your service.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I was mostly kind of, serving myself though. I just wanted to travel. That's the reality. I'm not a true patriot. I know everyone thinks I am, but it was selfish.
It was all travel. Yeah.
It was for travel.
Do you mind sharing what branch?
I was in the Navy.
Dude. He said Navy.
Oh, I thought you. Jesus Christ.
I
thought it said military.
I did say military, but I said Navy on the other podcast. But yeah, I was in the Navy. I was a mechanic. So it was fun.
Oh shit. I was a cook in the Army.
No shit. So you had all the hookups. Cooks had it so hooked up.
A full belly. Damn. I actually didn't. When I was overseas, though, I was not a cook.
Going overseas being hooked up? Like,
when you're over there, having some good food is really important because life isn't always the best,
Yeah. So I didn't cook while I was over there, but I still was friends with all the cooks. Like I had a different job while I was overseas, so it was. But I was still benefited because I'd be like, yo, I know what the fuck goes on, man. Hook me up.
Yeah, I know you guys don't just throw that out. Let me get some of that.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
All the secrets.
Yeah. Yep. Culinary specialist. That was what they called it in the Navy.
Yep.
And,
that's what they
were good. They were good, man. Gotta eat.
Surprisingly, it's not as bad as like you see like in older Army movies or whatever. You think of cooks. The food has come a long way, I think, compared to the shit you'd see in movies like that. It's not slop.
Yeah, dude. It was when I was on a little destroyer. It was like 500 feet long, and we were out in like the middle of the ocean, and we were getting like eggs to order, like what kind of omelet you want and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, this is pretty good. So it just depends on where you are, I think, and who
Yeah,
you
hell
got.
yeah.
Make friends with the people that cook your food too. That's just across the board.
That's just good
No doubt.
advice.
Yeah.
So now you obviously didn't partake in cannabis then. So you did it through high school. You gave it a break during the military career, and you came back to it when you got out.
Yeah, man. So I came back. It was about 2017, 2018. They had just passed recreational, as like right before I got back, and everyone, all my friends were growing their own weed, and I was seeing it, and I was like, oh shit! Like the last time I was doing this, I literally got a ticket from the cops, So it's like, this is great. Not only is it expunged from my record now, but you can grow it, and it's recreational. So it's not like you don't have to say there's a medical aspect. You can just say, hey, I just want to grow it because I am old enough.
Right. Right.
And it really, really drew me in because I was like, I can finally do this. There's no repercussions. Weed is kind of expensive. I realized that kind of quickly. And I ordered some seeds from, I think it was Seedsman. That was my first one. And that took like 2 months to get here. Don't order from Seedsman unless you got some time, at least in the US. It took like 2 months, man. And I got a nice 5x5, and I got like, I can't remember. I think I was watching Lex, what's his name? God, I can't remember his name. Lex something on YouTube. And I just basically copied everything that he had going. CO2 systems and all the like the blurple lights, and it was not that expensive, and I was like, okay, all right, this is kind of fun. So I just got hooked, man, just super hooked.
Oh, that's so cool. I basically did the same thing, only I think it was like High Again and Mr. Grow It for me. Like that I mimicked and was like hooked from that point on. I was like, oh yeah, this is super cool. But then I like made the mistakes that a lot of people do, and you just take in all the information and apply it all at once. And so I did not have the same, oh, I love this feeling. I had the, oh God, I fucking suck at this. I hate this. I've invested so much money. I gotta fucking find a new hobby.
That sucks, man.
It worked out for him.
Overthinking it.
Overthinking it. It's the number one killer, I think.
You know what I think my saving grace was, that I had these blurple lights, so I couldn't see all the deficiencies that I had or anything like that.
That's
so
a
I was
good
just
point.
like, oh, everything's looking really good in there. Right?
I'm the best grower ever.
And then come to find out, everything, I look back at the pictures and like color correcting, and it's all messed up.
So funny.
That's pretty genius. Sell your blurples as like deficiency correcting for photos.
They do. Absolutely. You'll never even
You'll
know.
never see it. Why do you still use blurples? Oh, just love them.
Yeah, I never have any issues with the blurples.
Never. Oh man.
So how long had you been growing before you took the chance at breeding?
Oh, I think 2 years or a year and a half. Yeah, 2 years maybe. And I wasn't breeding. I still kind of like pollen chucking, but I got the bug. A bunch of people were, asking if they could send me some pollen because I was doing YouTube. And so I had some viewers send me some pollen, and then that was, kind of one of the first ones that I did was one of my buddies from YouTube. He sent me a little bit of pollen in the mail, and I was like, all right. It was some outdoor photos, so it was pretty interesting.
What a cool thing, and I want to touch on your YouTube in a little bit, because that's a whole separate topic. But when you first got that pollen, how nervous were you to mess up?
Oh, dude, I was a wreck. I was so scared. Everyone's like, pollen can go 5 miles on the wind. And I'm like, oh my God.
Don't ever do it outside. Your neighbors will find you.
The government will come for you if you use it outside. Like, they have homing beacons for every single piece of pollen on the wind,
Yeah, exactly. Everyone will know it came from your house too.
Yeah. I'd be getting calls from like California asking if somebody released something out in Maine.
Next time, I'll call you, be like, what the hell, Jay?
Damn it.
Again?
It was scary though.
Yeah.
And like I was using a paintbrush, and it was kind of hard because like I didn't really understand how to do it at first, and I saw so many, kind of like Johnny, like so many different ways to go about doing it. I kind of did all of them,
Hmm.
and like put like a bag over it, or use a paintbrush, blow it on, or just dump it on the top, or use my fingers and Q-tip, and they all work just fine.
Yeah, it's just the practice, really. I think you just have to pick something and go with it because you'll never know if it works for you or not until you've tried and failed.
Exactly.
And I
Give
think
it a
people
shot.
exactly. What's the worst that can happen?
Besides California calling you, asking for their weed back
And really, we don't care that much. We'll call, but we ain't actually gonna do any work.
across
We've
state
got
lines.
we've got our own problems.
I always wondered about that though, man. Like people that live next to those hemp farms. Um,
Yeah,
what do you do? You need like intake scrubbers if you're growing in a greenhouse, or
I
like that's
I
a whole thing.
it would be worrisome. I don't know. Like I don't live obviously around any hemp fields, and I don't know where there would be like a majority of them. But
Hmm.
I'm sure you'd have. That's such a weird consideration to have to take inside, like take into consideration more so. Like you could never transfer the same clothes into your grow. Like that would just be like a
No.
change of clothes to go outside kind of thing.
Yeah, and I bet there's probably tons of herms out there, even if you didn't plant,
Oh
males.
yeah.
I'm sure
Oh
there's
yeah.
herms in a field of weed.
Oh yeah. Statistically, right?
Yeah. And there's nothing better than having herm hemp pollen going with your good stuff. That's what you
Oh,
want.
that's ideal. That actually raises the property tax. You
It's
know,
so good.
that would be such a nightmare. Could you imagine if you bought that house not knowing, and you
Oh,
set this like sweet, like thousands of dollar grow in your basement, and it's just nothing you can do.
like, oh yeah, we actually only grow herm hemp plants over here. We actually specialize. It has the most CBD. So, and
Yeah.
we open pollinate.
Oh yeah, year round. We can grow year round, so it's just open ball.
I bet it goes far in California too, because it doesn't like rain out there, man.
Yeah, but the good news is there's no like in where I am in Southern California, it's a desert. So you're not seeing fields of hemp anywhere. If we could grow fields and fields of stuff, it would be almonds and we sell it to the rich. Oh wait.
That's
No,
true.
so we don't have to worry about that here. We just the only thing we got to worry about is water.
I did come across when I was on a road trip and I came across coming from Arizona into California down on the southern border,
Hmm.
and I think it was the 40, and it was just desert, 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 and then all of a sudden there's trees everywhere, and then it goes right back to desert. So
Hmm.
they do some crazy stuff out there. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
how they do that. It's insane.
Well, not to get too into it because it would be boring for everyone who doesn't live in the state, but it's because we pump groundwater when we shouldn't. So
Oh,
we're,
nice.
we're yeah, and then I mean, if you want to, we're kind of it's a whole water episode, but
It's
even
from
the
like three
government.
states over, right?
Yeah, and so when you it's from the Colorado River, right? And the Colorado River feeds multiple states: Utah, Arizona, and Nevada, and and probably Colorado too. I feel like an idiot for not knowing that. But so all of that trickles down, and California is obviously the last state. However, the number of that they use for the water, like the number of how much water there is in that river that they started with, right? Is a fake number. That number wasn't ever real. So they based all
Nice.
of the water that these states get on a made up number, and they keep rounding up or they keep finding ways to make it look not as bad. But it's pretty drastic, all because they started with a fake number.
All you got to do is just go move up to the start of it, and you'll be fine. Don't worry
Yeah,
about everybody else.
exactly. Now that we'll be there for the water wars.
Water Wars, nice, yeah.
Yeah,
Like Water World, but the land version.
yeah, the way worse version,
Yeah.
and that's saying a lot.
Inevitable too. Scary.
Yeah, I mean, but in reality, if the sad reality is California will be fine because they produce something like 70% of the agricultural in this or the agriculture in this country. So, and it's also the seventh largest economy in the world. So it's not like the federal government is going to let California go without water. I'm sure that the federal government will allow other states to fail first.
I always wondered why they don't have like desalination units too. Like the ocean's right there. Like
So I can tell you for there's a bunch of reasons. But the basic reason that I think is the most upsetting is because no city wants it in their back door, in their backyard. You
Yeah.
know, it's okay for the neighbor city, but we don't want it here because think of the property value and
I think
stuff
there
like
was
that.
one at like Camp Pendleton. I remember like
There's a
going up
nuclear
the
power plant.
five.
That's the nuclear power plant.
It
The
looks like
tits.
boobs on
Yeah, the
over. Yeah,
tits.
yeah.
That's no longer. I mean, that's still there, but it's no longer a functioning nuclear power plant.
That's probably good.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you knew what they were doing with the discarded rods, it wouldn't be necessarily. Their original plan was to bury a tide level in front of San Onofre, which is
Oh,
it's called the
nice.
San Onofre, yeah, San Onofre nuclear power plant or whatever. And then there was this all kinds of drama about with the city freaking out and the state freaking out, and so all the local residents were getting angry. So they kept moving the meetings further north. So like the local meeting for in Orange County got moved to like Ventura. So it was like what the okay whatever. But I don't know enough to speak on it to form an opinion one way or the other. I just feel like I'd be wrong.
I always liked that stretch of the highway though, because you can absolutely fly. I used to have my motorcycle and just
Yeah.
that was my speeding spot.
Those days are long gone, my friend.
Man,
Unfortunately,
CHP.
no traffic. There's more and more people. When I went to Thanksgiving, so my partner's nieces or whatever lived down there, and so we had to go past Pendleton and to get to Oceanside or past Oceanside, but that took 2.5 hours because of the traffic.
Ooh.
But also in the same vein, I drove down there on Christmas Day in the morning, and it only took 30 minutes. But there's just more people now.
I used to be able to split lanes though, so like I never really had to like sit in traffic. But it's like taking the life, like and putting my life in my hands, like every car
Every
that you
time
cross.
you do it,
Yeah.
everyone that I know who's ridden motorcycles has been severely hurt by it. So I was never allowed. It's the one thing the one rule that my mom put down was that I couldn't ride motorcycles. Like I could ride dirt bikes and stuff like that, but I could just never get my motorcycle's license for whatever reason. And it never really interested me, mostly because like seeing my uncle break his voice box, which I didn't even know was a thing and stuff like.
It's dangerous, dude. It really is.
And it's what bothers me the most is it's never the person riding's fault. It's always someone else's fault. And
That's true.
you can't rely on other people because other people are just terrible.
That's exactly why I stopped
Mhm.
riding, dude. It's
Yeah.
like
They
I got
don't
kids
see
at
you.
home, man, and I
Exactly.
can't predict what everyone else is gonna do. I
It's
can
really
predict
smart,
what
man.
I
It's
might.
dangerous.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about you. We're here for
Always.
you. I was actually just gonna try and bring it back. I just
Okay.
just yesterday you posted a picture. You got a new breeding project coming out. What you want to talk about that one?
Sure, yeah. I'm messing around with this cross, the double fox, which is the double grape cross with, what is it, Star Fox? What isn't that what it is? I don't remember. Yeah, double grape Star Fox that I crossed with Coal Miner's Daughter, and they're regular autoflowers. And I wouldn't really call it like breeding. I hate using that word because people think that like I'm trying to like I don't know be
Selective.
like yeah I'm like trying to be somebody, but I'm really just trying to grow some weed, and I just use the amount that I can fit in my tent, which happens to be like 36 1 gallons, and then just kind of just bring that number down until I find the ones that I think are the best and breed those and keep going. So I'm on like this is F2, and I'm hoping to find another one that looks just like these parents, but kind of I don't know, maybe one way or another towards like the smells, the profiles, and all that. But it's still curing right now. I haven't even smoked any of it yet, so I'm still waiting.
So now you're in these 1 gallons. You must be. Do you go 12-12 right from the start?
No, these are autos, so like I'm going 24 hours.
Okay.
I never turn the lights off. I just leave them on
Okay.
because
And
then
just
I feel
based on pot size, they stay smaller.
yeah. I mean, I started in the 1 gals just because it's kind of a really good happy medium between like a solo cup, but it gives me a little bit more time until the roots hit the bottom or the edges.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll probably pick the ones that are growing the best in probably like a week. And I'm going to start selecting based on just growth, how fast they grow. So that's like the first thing that I choose for. I don't like grow them all the way out. I'll just pick the ones that I think they're doing the best. So I choose by vigor in the beginning, and I'm relying on the fact that these genetics are from good stuff to hope that they are good when they flower as well.
So if I understand what you're doing, you're not flowering all of them out, and you're not like open pollinating. You're like you're saying, okay, that one doesn't have vigor. You take it right out of the tent. You don't even finish that one off.
Yeah.
You only leave the ones that you've selected from growth patterns in the tent to do the thing with it there at the end. So
Exactly.
how many do you narrow it down to?
Well, last time I started with 65, and I ended up with 2. So that's, one male and 2 females. That was my final count.
Oh, wow.
And they were great. So like the same thing, I was just selecting for growth, for vigor, for like structure, all the things that I wanted to have regardless of how good it is. And then I was just kind of rolling the dice that they were going to be good flowering plants. And luckily they were.
So now that was the only pollen in the tent with those 2 females.
Yeah, it was the same.
So,
it was basically like the brother of those 2.
So what do you do with all the plants that were like close but like never pollinated, or what do you do with those ones?
Well, I still have some flowering ones that are in there now, and they were probably 20 to 30 days old when the pollen was flying around, and they don't have any seeds on them. So unless they're showing pistils, they're not going to get pollinated. The pollen really, it doesn't stick around that long, man. And I also I'm scrubbing the air, and I only had that male plant in there for like a couple of days, and I let a little bit of pollen fly, and then I pulled it, and then I culled it. So, and I spray things down, and the water, the high humidity will also kill the pollen, and then the sunlight. So it really doesn't stick around long, but I was hoping it would stick around for a little bit longer because I wanted some of that pollen to hit my other plants, but they never did.
Right. That makes sense. Do you take them out of the tent, the ones that you don't want the seeds for originally, but then you put them back in just kind of hoping they might get a little bit of something on them, but
Yes.
still have enough flower for head stash? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, actually, this is a great segue because I've been doing this technique off, I guess I would say the last 2 or 3 grows, where I call it, it's a dumb name, but I call it sex tech because you got to think about it when you sex the plant, when you see those first pistils, right? Those are the ones that get hit. So the very, very first ones, and those are the only ones that get hit, and that's it. So I have the pollen flying when there's just the very first ones that are on the stalk. Those get hit, and then once they're hit, I will pull that male out of there, and I will let the buds continue to grow without pollen hitting them. So it's just a little bit on the stalks, and then I also have the buds as well. And it works really well. That's what I did on these last 2, I think. And man, the buds are seed-free, and there's probably like 60 or 70 seeds on the plant, but the buds are fine. So you get like the best of both worlds.
Dude,
I
that's
don't
so
think the
fucking
name's so bad,
fascinating.
dude. Sex tech is cool. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're
Cool as
gonna make
shit.
a robot to bang.
Yeah, it was either that or sexy tech, but I wanted to leave the Y out.
Sorry, I'm just picturing sex tech laboratories.
Sex Tech 5000. Now with Wi-Fi.
I had to mute. I was laughing so fucking loud.
Sorry, no, but honestly, this is the first time I've ever heard that tech, and I love it. I'm sure that everyone's like, well, you're an idiot. A lot of people do that, but that's really freaking cool.
That's
No,
what
that's
I was thinking
super
too, man.
fascinating.
I was trying to look around to see if anyone had done it. I'm sure people have done it and they just don't talk about it because that's how things go. But
Of
I
course.
just wanted to sort of explain it in a way that if you heard it, you would know because it's the sex technique where when you sex a plant, those are the only ones that get hit, and it's kind of easy to remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think you,
mean,
sir, just got me a whole bunch of blueberry grapes.
I was gonna say.
Hear that,
Nice.
green guy?
Blueberry
Just my
grapes. That sounds
Just
good.
my chance to fuck with green guy. Pardon me there.
You gonna steal all his genetics?
Yeah,
Be
Oh, that-
green guy
that's right.
too.
He's
I got
Johnny-
all
Green-
the seeds.
You be
Johnny's
green
just
apple.
upset because when we had the big green guy on, he wasn't feeling as well, and so it was kind of unfair on my end. I brought him in and tied both of Johnny's hands behind his back. So
Nice.
he
as
wants
you
to
as you
Johnny's
do.
Mouth. Yeah.
I listened
the
to that one.
peacemaker.
Yeah, he sounded good. I thought so. But I think
he
you
always
guys
sounds
were
great.
you were also asking him if he felt better all the time. So there's that.
Which is always what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah. Because then
I'm
you're like,
only
oh,
just now starting to feel better. It's fucking ridiculous how whatever the hell that was.
It's I guess it's what it's like being my friend. You're just constantly miserable. I'm just kidding.
Probably that cancer you sent me in the mail.
probably cancer. Yeah. If
it
you
came from
Google
the
it,
state-
it's cancer.
It's cancer. That's right. Dude, I remember the early WebMD. I'm sure it's still the same way, but I remember the first time I Googled WebMD or WebMD to symptom. And I
Oof.
was like, oh, cancer. What the shit?
Oh, my lungs are failing. Damn.
Yeah. It's like, wow, my skin knee must be really bad. No.
It is always worst case scenario though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But how else will you fuel the madness of people, right? That's how you drive clicks to your website. Just be like, oh, you have a common cold? Cancer.
Isn't there like people out there that really do think that they have what is that, a hypochondriac or something like that?
Hypochondriacs.
Man, they must love WebMD.
Oh, I bet. I bet you that WebMD is probably one of the most annoying websites a doctor has ever had to deal with.
Oh, I bet.
Just like, oh, so you think you know more than me? Okay.
Congratulations, Google.
I got
you win again.
5,000 results, but I only went with this one.
Yeah, exactly. with no prior knowledge. So one time I had a new boss take over and was like, all right, I want to come in and take pictures of your job so that I have a better understanding. And I was like, you want to take pictures of me sitting at a desk designing something and then programming it and going out and pressing a green button and having the machine okay. I mean,
Nice.
and I don't know why that works for you, but golden. So I think some people just think that with a couple pictures they can do anybody's job.
Yeah, that's all you need. It's perfect.
Absolutely.
Like a little cliff note of a really in-depth description.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you need. That's how I base my life. Like, yeah, sure.
YouTube videos.
One YouTube video, not even multiple.
Yeah, just one.
And then I go straight to the comments and I get the real lowdown. I know what's going on.
Oh, I bet you get all kinds of crazy stuff. And I don't want you to have to be negative, so we'll switch to positive stuff. But just this last 2 weeks, I know a couple people who've started watching your stuff and just binged it.
That's awesome.
Gone crazy. And I absolutely love your YouTube videos. I think there's something really rad about them that you just don't see with, I guess, normal videos.
Thank you.
I love it. How'd you get started in that? And what drives you, man? Because seeing yourself on video all the time's got to be a mind trip after a while.
Well, first off, I don't really go back and watch them. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I'll take a
Smart.
look at them once I upload them. I'll rewatch it to make sure, like, just vaguely to make sure that, we're not missing any frames or it didn't stall out halfway or the audio's all jacked up. And then if it's for the most part good, I won't really watch it again. But that helps a lot because if you just, you guys know, you go back and you listen to your voice, you edit your voice, and it's weird listening to yourself and it's weird looking at yourself. So I just don't, I don't do it as much. But I got started when I was doing an outdoor grow and I just turned on my cell phone. I was like, I wonder if this is like allowed or if this is like okay or if people do this or not. And you know, when you film vertical for the first time, you don't realize you should tilt the phone and have it
Yep.
be horizontal. I filmed like 3 episodes vertical, and people are like, this was before shorts. Like there wasn't there's no shorts, there's no
Right.
vertical, and they're like, yo, tilt that screen. So I would turn it on and then tilt it so that it's turned the entire time. You know what I mean?
Sideways.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it took me a little while to get that down, but eventually people they gave me some pointers, they gave me some tips. Like I got a lot of feedback early on from the viewers, helped a lot. And I didn't really know what I was doing so much, so there was a lot of like people sort of ragging on me a little bit, but it did tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. I was growing basalts, and I was growing outdoor basalts, and people were like, "Yo, bro, what are
Dude.
you doing?" They're like, "You're poisoning the water. Like you're paying money that you don't need to." And I was using Ramo nutrients, so I used the YouTube platform as a way to basically learn and to get interaction with people about how to improve my growth style. It helped a lot. So like
That's awesome.
I'm so thankful. Like Discord wasn't, at least I didn't have a Discord, or there wasn't really any other way. Like I wasn't on Instagram, and I got some good feedback from people. I owe them a lot. There's people that have been watching me for like 3.5 years now, 4 years. It's been a while.
And amazing content has come out from it, and it's fun to see. And one thing that I do, obvious, I think, from anybody who knows you and has talked to you, is how great of a guy you are. But it's I always like highlighting
Wait,
someone who's
wait. I like how you said that. How great of a guy you are. But
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 you got
you're
to
an
stay with it.
you're an absolute monster. You're a horrible. No, I'm just
oh,
kidding.
everyone
For,
thinks you're a
yeah.
great guy. But
You go
Here's
nice.
welcome
bad,
to your
nice.
average grow.
Yeah, well, sorry. I have a. I guess I shouldn't really butt and then immediately give you another compliment. I understand. I will point out, failed, did not graduate as an English teacher. Okay, did not get my degree in English. So
I had to get that one in because you always get them on
It
me.
is-
I
it
felt,
is
I
more
felt
than-
it necessary.
It is
for
more
me to
than
get
fair.
one. It's like
It
every
is more
blind
than
squirrel
fair.
gets a nut.
not only is it
It's
more,
totally understandable.
yeah, it's more than fair, and I would be very disappointed if people would never throw it back in my face. Then I just feel mean.
Feel like a
I've gotten
padre.
pretty used to like uh, constructive criticism, and it's kind of good. I really do put it to good use.
I think when especially when you're growing, I think a lot of people have good advice, and a lot of people want to share. I've never met anyone who's overly like mean unless they're messed in the head. But when someone says, like, I think some people might be scared, but if you have a suggestion, man, I'm always glad to hear it,
Absolutely.
because I'd rather know. I obviously don't know. Like, I'd rather know.
It's good to. I got to learn somehow. You know.
Exactly. I hate to be doing something wrong and everybody be like, "Hey, look at that jackass doing it wrong," and then nobody tell me. I'd be like, "Wait, I could have been doing it right for 2 years."
There's always one guy though. There's always one guy that will be honest with you in the comments, or multiple times. But uh,
Yeah,
it's not everyone. A lot of people do kind of gloss over the issues, and then they'll be one guy who's kind of a little bit rougher, but at the same time, you're like, oh shoot, I didn't know that. Thank you. And I was
yeah.
like, all you guys, nobody else brought this up, but this guy, like, come on, I've been
We don't
doing it
even
wrong.
like that guy.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
your friend that won't tell you that you have something on your face.
Yeah, it's like,
You
dude,
gotta
what the
tell 'em.
hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to tell them, like, they're
You let
in
me
public,
you let me walk around like this? I hate you.
unless they really just want to see you get laughed at. So there's that too.
That's why Johnny I can never trust. We have such a great foundation. I'm afraid that, like, it's either coming from a place of jest or love. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just.
Yeah, most likely.
I just sneezed, so I'm trying to gain my composure, laugh, and like try to figure out where the hell we were at the same time. Give me a
We were
second.
talking about Jay's YouTube and how great it is. But how do you
Oh, yeah,
how do
yeah.
you how do you maintain, like, other than, does it help that you're growing alongside, or because I'd imagine a lot of people producing that much video content, burnout has to be real.
I have burned out before. This is my third or fourth channel.
Okay.
So I got deleted once. I took a hiatus once, and I removed my channel once. So it's a lot of like back and forth.
Hmm.
So like at first I had a hard time with it, and I sort of disappeared, and then I came back. Um, then YouTube sort of gave me a hard time, and then I also transitioned to I did like a motorcycle channel for a while where I just went on this like motorcycle trip, and then so that was a channel that I switched over to that, and I never put my cannabis stuff back on that channel because I was afraid it was going to delete all of my travel videos. So I started fresh. I started fresh again, and it's a good thing because they definitely would have.
Yeah.
So it takes a little getting used to. There's like if you start a YouTube channel and you don't like it, you can stop at any time and you can always start back up again. People will find you. Sometimes
Yeah.
it just takes a few years.
I think that's good advice. If people are afraid of getting burnt out, they shouldn't because they can get burnt out and just start over.
Yeah, just take a break too. I took like a year off and came back and like nothing happened. It's fine.
I will say though, Johnny, do not get any ideas.
Oh,
You're not allowed to get burnt out.
You guys getting on YouTube?
No,
Is that
no, no,
right?
no, 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 no. I'm just telling
No.
Johnny he can't ever get burnt out. I'd miss him too much.
Yeah. I love it though. It's really fun. I enjoy making videos. I like making content. And I can talk. I can talk forever. Like so it's
We
a weird
appreciate
it's
that.
a weird thing, man. I sometimes I have to get myself to stop talking because I'm like, okay, we're not talking about anything that's in the video. That's why I do voiceovers. I used to do like talking while I'm filming. That's a bad idea because I don't talk about anything that's on screen. So voiceovers help me a lot.
That's pretty. Yeah, I actually enjoy it too because it's kind of cool. I don't know why. Maybe it's just I'm so weird. I just like it a lot, but it makes a lot of sense. It's got to be a lot easier to just concentrate on what you're doing in the moment and then just go back
Yeah.
and go. The audio is secondary.
Yeah, it's way easier. Get the footage first, get it dialed in, put it all in a timeline, and then you can go back and you can do a nice like perfect audio with nothing in the background if you want, and there's no stress. You can do retakes, you can cut your audio just like you guys do, and you can add music or what have you. Or if there was a loud sound in the video, you can cut it out. So you have a lot more flexibility like that.
Yeah, it makes it nice when you have like you're not trying to sync everything you're saying to what's going on in the video.
Yeah.
I could imagine that's got to be a pain in the ass. I've tried
it's
making
hard.
Editing.
videos before when it was like as a little something to do, and it was like, yeah, nope, not for me.
Or somebody makes like I had neighbors that would like their kids would come out and just start screaming at the top of their lungs while I was talking
yeah.
about this plant, and I'm like,
no.
yeah, I'm like, oh, start over, because I didn't know how to edit it. I was just doing like one shot videos,
Hmm.
and yeah, so learning how to edit makes YouTube much easier. Like it's not, you don't get so burnt out as easily, I don't think. Anyways, that's me.
Well, that's good, and I'm hoping you don't for a long time because your content is seriously must watch, and we'll set up a section in our Discord where we can upload new videos when they premiere or whatever. But everyone should check them out. It's super rad.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And you could always come over. We got a Discord too if you want
Oh,
to see.
excellent.
We do notifications whenever I post a video, so you'll get it within like 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, you'll have to throw down a section in our Discord so people can know because
For sure.
it's officially podcast recommended. Watch J Merch, obviously.
Much appreciated, bros.
Of course. If someone had to wait to hear us say that, then they need to reevaluate their lives. And
Yeah.
But I mean, you'd be surprised. YouTube does kind of like shadow ban. They make it
I'd
hard for
imagine.
people to find your videos. I've had a couple strikes, so sometimes it gets kind of. I noticed certain times when the videos, the like how many views it has drops off, completely drops off the map, and then you'll see it maybe like an hour and a half later, it'll pick back up again. But for a certain amount of time, sometimes it's just invisible. They do some weird stuff behind the scenes, and I can see it all on the Studio app where I can go through and I can see all the stats. I really love that. The Studio app is fun. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
sometimes they suppress stuff, so
Mine,
it
yeah,
happens.
that's it's so ridiculous. I don't even understand. I mean, it's federally illegal, I guess, but holy hell. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think sexualizing children has ever been federally legal, has it?
Apparently it is, according to those guys.
I know, jeez.
Gee, they're
But
monetizing everything and
oh my
violence
god.
too.
Yeah, and
Like a
gambling.
lot, there's a lot of violence on YouTube, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's you can't show a plant, something that's it has had no detrimental effects on that like society.
I did like some videos where I was walking around talking about like living soil, beneficial insects, and dry amendments, just like your standard outdoor stuff. And they took that one down because they said I was dealing drugs. That's what they said. Yeah,
No, dealing bugs, you idiots.
bugs. The
Bugs.
dopest dope.
The dopest of the dope. You know that you got to get those bug catchers. Those
Yeah, if you're gonna step your
menace
game
to
up,
society. They probably well, if you've ever played the very real documentary video game Pokemon, it seems like there are kids running around with bugs terrorizing towns. So
yeah,
I'm
slave
down for
bugs.
yeah, slave bugs. I'm down to shut down all bug dealers.
Those goddamn bug dealers. I see them out there starting at a
But
young age.
I mean, and like it's the hypocrisy of the whole thing that drives me the most insane, and it's a topic that everyone's covered. But it's just be realistic, right? Gambling is heavily promoted, but
Huge.
but at all the very like and spending money, like getting your kids to go spend hundreds of dollars on a video game that's pointless is more than encouraged.
Junk
But
food. Like,
junk food, yeah. But holy crap, you grow something natural, and you're a villain, man.
yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's a terrible rep. Like it's a bad look on us as a society and as a people.
But
If
you
I
wait,
was,
man. Once they start like monetizing stuff, it's gonna be a complete 180. You know,
yeah, oh yeah,
they're gonna be pushing
sell
it
their,
down our necks.
oh yeah,
But it'll be commercial,
it'll be yeah,
facilities.
it'll be the even worse.
It'll be
But
cookies.
cookies everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey man, some people love corporate cannabis. As I've come to find, I don't understand it. Maybe it's they're younger or something.
People love corporate everything, dude. Look at Walmart, for fuck's sake.
Well, I don't think people love Walmart. I think they have no other option. But I mean, if there's other options and you still actively root for corporations, then something is morally bankrupt with you.
There'll be like hype beasts getting into corporate stuff. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like you're not thinking as a human being or as even intelligently. I don't. I'm not going to get caught up in that. But yeah, it's just
Yeah.
interesting that it's like corporations are just not good for like business on a small scale. You you don't want to encourage that if you want to encourage small business.
Yeah, you wait till you see the Supreme seeds. It'll be like Supreme. You know how they sell the brick? It'll
Oh
be a
yeah.
brick. It'll be a brick of weed. It'll be
Oh
the
yeah. Brick.
Supreme weed brick.
We'll go back to
Yeah,
the brick ditchweed, but it'll be considered an honor or like designer. Nah, we did this
that's
to
right.
recreate this stuff you used to get in the 90s. Fuck,
Yep.
what? What?
You gotta wait in line. It's gonna be $100.
Yeah, exactly. And it comes with its own NFT.
Yep.
But no, that's shit I don't know anything about. So, but yeah, I mean, I think everybody should check out your channel. Johnny, do you have any questions for our guest?
Yeah. Who did you send the seeds to the first time you were supposed to send them to me?
Oh, dude. So I I got really high. I do this sometimes, and so I send seeds out to so many people that sometimes I have a book where I write it down because otherwise I get confused. But sometimes I screenshot things like addresses and all that stuff, and I mean I probably sent seeds to, I don't know, probably 500 or more people since I started doing this. And everyone has like different names for different platforms. And like you got Instagram, you got YouTube, you got Discord, you got real life, and they're all different names. So it gets kind of confusing. So I had a huge package for you, Johnny. And I sent it to another guy named Johnny. That I was talking to on Instagram, and he knows who he is. I was gonna send him some seeds anyways, but I just didn't I wasn't going to send him that many seeds. It was going to be a couple vials. He wanted some Star Fox. But yeah, I hooked him up on purpose.
That's
stuff.
awesome. It was so funny because Padre was like, yeah, he's sending you some stuff too, I believe, right? I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I heard it
Yeah.
on the podcast. I'm like,
cool.
oh, shit.
Yeah, when you hit me up, I was like, oh man, I was like not nuts. I was like, holy shit, I swear to God, like what did I miss? I was trying to go back through everything. I was like, fuck man, what did I miss? I've got to find this because I feel like a fucking total shit now.
That's what surprised me, because when you told me that you were sending them to him, I was like, oh cool. And then I mentioned it to Johnny, and Johnny was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, Johnny would never forget somebody was sending him something. Like
No,
he's stoked
no.
every time.
That's when the red flags were going, the alarms were going off, and Johnny was like, "Oh, I don't know," and I was like, "Ooh, I need to let's take a look."
It's all good. It
Super
worked
funny,
out.
man. I appreciate it, man. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, Johnny, you don't live in Arizona, man?
Nope. No.
Oh, okay.
No. No, we're practically neighbors, turns out.
I know. I'm jealous. I've said on multiple occasions I was looking through our DMs merch, looking for some of the early stuff we were talking about, and then I noticed how many separate times I had complimented your various beds, and I would just send you a message just like, nice bed, dude.
No, it's all good. I had a few beds, so that
I know.
that does make sense.
It was just so funny, and I was like, only in this hobby would a grown man on the West Coast be sending a man on the East Coast just nice bed.
And you wait, man. Once you I'm sure you're already there, but you're talking to like multiple people on multiple platforms. They all have like an alias name, but then you also sometimes know who they actually are, and they change their profile pictures, or they change things all the time.
Things get deleted.
It gets confusing, bro. Like,
especially when you're as friendly as you are, dude.
I talk to a lot of people.
And I thank the Lord Frog for it.
Praise
every
Frog.
day. Praise Frog. Johnny, you got to hit him with the other legit
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I had to get that one out of the way because it was too funny. But I got 3 questions for you. First one being, what's the first seed you ever planted, and why was it an apple seed?
The first seed, I think it was tomatoes, just to be so boring. But yeah, tomatoes. I think that was the first thing I grew.
Right.
You're not talking about just like weed seeds, right? Talking about everything.
Yeah,
In general,
like any
yeah.
seed, yeah, like any seed, yeah.
Yeah, tomatoes really got me into gardening. Honestly, I was like, they're delicious, and I found out you could grow them, and that was kind of like the beginning of the gardening thing for me.
Heck yeah.
How'd it turn out?
It actually came out really well. It came out really well, except for they got eaten by bugs because I wasn't like spraying, and I didn't have a fence, so the deer demolished them, and also some bugs. But I thought they came out all right. I got a few.
Heck yeah. What's your favorite pie, and why is it apple?
I gotta side with you here. Apple pie all the way. Love it.
Is there a person who hasn't picked? Big Green Guy picked cherry, and
I don't know, man.
but I
Something
think
about
apple's
apple
been
pie.
there. Yeah.
So crispy and
do you
like
go-
homemade.
Do you go a la mode?
What's a la mode with the whipped cream and everything?
Ice cream on
Ice
top, isn't
cream.
it?
Yeah.
You know, I usually don't, but I will. I will definitely take it. Like up in, what was it? The best apple pie that I've ever had was in Julian, California.
Yeah.
There's a little apple. Was it
picking.
Mother's? I can't remember
Mhm.
what it's called, but that place is good, and they had it with the vanilla ice cream, and
Yeah.
it was bomb. It was so good.
I don't know
Julian,
if
you
I've
can-
ever mentioned this on the show or not, but has anybody ever had a slice of cheddar cheese with their apple pie?
No,
No.
Oh yeah,
That
that
sounds
is
funky.
some umami shit.
Does
man.
sound
That is
pretty funky,
so-
but
it is like
I'm not turned off
curious
by
as
the
shit.
cheese. I'm more turned off by the apple pie because I don't like sweets. But
what does the
I'd
cheese
try
do? What does it do?
it gives like an umami effect. I don't know, like it's got to be like a sharp cheddar cheese, and you just take a nice slice of it. You have a bite of pie, and you eat a piece of cheese, and it's like, wow, it's just there's something to it. I don't know why some old dude put me onto it, and it was like, no shit, that's pretty
Maybe
good.
the sweet and salty with a little bit of texture, something like that.
Yeah, it's like it gives like an umami
Well,
just in
'cause
everything. Yeah.
it's a sharp cheddar like that I mean, because is Vermont known for cheese by you guys? Is that the place?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that Vermont cheddar? Is that like a? I don't know.
yeah.
I know
They
very little.
do. They do a lot of cheese down there.
Yeah. So maybe that's why, because your proximity.
I've never heard of it, but
Could
I'm
be.
gonna try it. I gotta try it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a try at least once.
If it's horrible, I'll let you know.
Come after him. I think
gonna
you can
find you,
actually.
dude.
I think you can sue for something like that. But
It's in the fine print.
I do ask that you go after him individually, and please not the show as a whole.
No, I'll do more of like a vigilante thing, like at night
Okay,
or
perfect.
something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Truly Navy versus Army.
that's right.
Oh shit. Well, what's your favorite fruit and why is it apple?
I would probably say mangoes. I think mangoes are bomb. Sorry, it's not apple, but I really love a very ripe mango. It's important that it's ripe because if it's not ready, it's no good. But mangoes, just the way that you can sort of like, how you like cut them around and you can pop them open and just kind of like eat them. They're just so good. I love them.
Yeah, they are delicious.
I
Yeah, you could
honestly
dry 'em.
No, I don't think I've ever had a fresh mango.
Ooh, you got to,
You do.
dude. It's so good.
I don't know as if I could ever have a fresh mango. I'm in fucking the Northeast. Is there a thing as fresh?
When I kidnap
I think
you
so.
and take you here and we travel from here, because I was like, you're not going to get really fresh mangoes in Southern California either. But when we go to a tropical paradise, we'll try it.
And I think also
enough.
just a caveat on that. I don't know if you've ever had tahine, but it's like a chili powder
Yeah.
that you can sprinkle on stuff. I like mango with a little bit of tahine sometimes. It's really
Heck
good.
yeah.
Yeah, a little chili powder.
Man, that sounds good.
It adds like a little salty.
Did you pick that up
like
when you
spice.
were in San Diego?
Yeah, dude, they got me into
Yeah.
the Mexican candy hard,
That's right.
and
It's in every
I love,
grocery store, man.
I love it, dude. I cannot
Yeah.
get enough of the Mexican candies.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep. It's fantastic, man.
So good.
Well, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
It's
man. I
fun.
appreciate
This was a
your
good
time.
one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. Oh shit. It's
What's that?
Sunday.
Yeah, hit us with a sermon, Padre.
Dude, I'm ill prepared. So I'm gonna go
As
with
always.
I'm gonna go with a classic. I'm always yeah, I know it's terrible. I'm gonna go with a classic. And this fits in with our buddy Jay here, Jay Merch, because I'm just gonna say consider the source, man. If you get information from a person or anything like that, consider who's giving it. That includes me, that includes Johnny, and that includes Jay Merch. But in Jay Merch's case, it's a positive because you could go check out his YouTube channel and see for yourself. So consider the source always. Don't be a dick. Mind your own business and go with Frog.
Praise Frog.
Praise Frog.
Thanks everybody for listening. Peace.